to me, Tash, on Buccaneer, your source for what they don't want you to know. This time we're turning our focus back on the media to look at my former employer, the GBB. As you know, the broadcaster has been through a lot of changes since the Hassani government gave in to pressure from its corporate backers and privatised the corporation. Today, the GBB is a shadow of this force. It's become a tool used by the government to serve fake news and misinformation. So how did we get here? Where did it all go wrong? How can we tell when our national media has become state propaganda? Our experts speak on conditions of anonymity for their audience. Here's disinformation and media expert Charles, who's seen free broadcasters built up by journalists and torn down by demagogues all over the world.
So before the media fragmented, there was this voice of authority that was trusted and worthy of trust. Then what we ended up with is a really commercial model where whether you're talking about an app on a smart device or whether you're talking about a broadcaster, the most important thing was to keep you in that environment for the longest amount of time possible.
You're gonna kill someone! Oh no!
All units, I say again, all units, we have reports of a hostile in your area, over. Approaching with caution, over.
Control, I can't see the suspect.
Search the area.
Please advise.
Move along,
Target is
move
long
along.
gone. Disengage. Over and out.
That's revolting.
I've heard from Inspector Lau. We're ready for the briefing. Mary Kelly heads up the most powerful crime family in London, Clan Kelly, which should at least be easy to remember.
Under her old man, they were a bit player. Then he died, and her rivals started disappearing. Her enemies, her friends, her family. They call her Bloody Mary for a reason.
Early on, Mary abandoned cash in favor of cryptocurrency and brought the Kellys' criminal business online.
It makes weapons smuggling, drug running, money laundering all a lot easier without a cash trail. The woman single-handedly modernized organized crime in London. She considers herself to be untouchable. Case in point, from my files you retrieved. Darla Covington, 19. Sasha Haddad, 28. Radek Starkovich, 24. All disappeared.
It's difficult to find good help these days, isn't it, love? Most people, they ain't driven. Not like you. 'Cause they feel worthless, don't they? The way that the world is, how it uses people. It's horrible. It's nice that you have a purpose. Oh, that'll be me, love.
We aren't finished here.
This was a courtesy. Oh, give my regards to their families. It's horrible losing someone you love. Nice meeting you, Caitlin.
As you can see, she'll never respond to interrogation. But there is one place she feels comfortable talking, the Sandstone residence.
Inspector Lau thinks a police bug in the Kellys' headquarters may have the evidence she needs to finally convict Bloody Mary.
Sandstone is their center of operations. I know the data on that bug will take her down. Get it for me, and I swear I'll put her away forever.
Pushing the coordinates to your optics.
Sabine here, Inspector Lau. I'm curious how you think you...
Tell you what I saw. Well, come on, what was it? I'm taking a walk. It's so pretty. I go to the bar and some
Where nobody really believed anything. And the trouble is, if you were telling the truth, it's very hard to get your message to cut through all of the noise of all of the disinformation that's there. So like, you know, you remember Out on the Edges, there was this story about when they would take a house by force, they would take any infants and they would crucify them. And that's a great, fantastic, viral story. How do you counter that story? With the truth. The only way you can counter it is by saying, no, they didn't. And of course, no one wants to spread that story. No one wants to hear that story. They want to hear the sensationalism. They want to hear how people were victims of violence when in fact they weren't. Or they were victims of insurgent forces when in fact they weren't.
The news isn't neutral, it's a battleground. Here's media researcher and academic Alfie.
Media has, of course, been perhaps the key way in which governments have controlled and influenced their populations. So, totalitarian countries have typically used huge mainstream media outlets to sell one kind of news, one kind of biased news to its population. Of course, the media has always played this kind of key role in methods of state control. I think what's happening now is perhaps even more concerning. Previously, in pre-crisis Britain, we had perhaps more diverse voices in the media, but now with the GBB, you're really only seeing one brand of news and therefore only getting one truth. So people end up with a very biased and controlled idea of the reality.
Security here is state-of-the-art, quite impenetrable. Unless, of course, you flew a drone through the window, one of Mary's mouth breathers left open.
The recording device is in her security room.
Getting there should be a simple matter of navigating the vents.
What the fuck?
She's using these people as house servants, against their will.
Horrible in itself, but a million times worse knowing they end up as unwilling organ donors.
Suspicious activity. Suspicious activity.
The Lord smiles on me. What's going on?
Reminder.
The use of all VPN or other private
networks is against the law. All persons found on convention of will be subject to
You have a real fucking attitude problem. Do you know that?
Please, I need help.
Fucking idiot. Do you piss everyone off the way you're pissing me off, wanker? Stupid git.
Safety
is everyone's responsibility.
Be mindful of your surroundings and report any suspicious activity.
That's it. Let's see what kind of recording we've got on her. Just look at this place. This is what comes of old crooked money. The Kelly family has been profiting from people's misery for a long time. She's got this shit all over the manor.
So you've been in there before? Is that how you ended up in the basement of the Southwark incinerator?
We needed something incriminating, so we decided someone had to get in here and plant a bug. I wasn't going to assign someone else to do that. You saw how Mary uses the people she grabs out of the EPC, and the staff's uniform's not hard to mimic, so I went in. What I didn't know was that she had intel on our investigation, my team. I thought going off book would stop the leaks, but she still knew we were coming. She tortured me for the names of my team, tried to break me, but cops don't give up cops. Turned out she already knew the whole unit and put hits out on them. The woman is a mind fucker.
Shit. Well, at least you don't have a microchip in you. Bitch knew who she was dealing with. You'd never have bowed to her.
That's how I ended up on that butcher's table. So many reasons to want to rid the world of her, but it wouldn't be enough to just put one in her brain. My mates died trying to bring her to justice. I have to honor that.
Proszę! Nie!
Look at the state of you. Look what you've done to yourself after everything I've done for you.
You made me a slave. All of us. Please, let me go. Take this thing out.
Back to your old life. Back to nothing. Back to you 2.5 screaming blighters in your dead-end job and sucking off the dole. You don't want that, love. This microchip is scary, I know, but I got to keep tracks on my merchandise, don't I? And this kitchen knife, that won't do it, love. Cutting yourself affects my bottom line.
I can't live like this anymore.
No. You're all right there. It's all right, sweetheart, because I have another use for you. Ooh, paying attention, are we? Good. Be sure and spread the word. You know where this one goes. Get these two and all the others over to the venue and ready for the sale.
Right away, ma'am. Also, the foreign investors have already landed and the drones are programmed, ready to deliver the invitations and the coordinates to all the guests.
Is that initiative I'm smelling, Peter? Initiative can be a dangerous thing. Can be misinterpreted.
Since we're waiting for our cordial invitation to Mary Kelly's tasteless theme party, we can finally get back to what really matters, solving the mystery of Zero Day. Who are they, and why did they frame DedSec for...
That's it. I'm calling off the
Corporations and the
pursuit.
state operating in tandem, basically molded into one another.
I found a potential recruit for you. Drop in a pin on your map.
Operated in Nazi Germany. There were private...
Suspicious activity to the nearest Albion officer.
You look like someone who's had just about enough of this bollocks. Am I right?
Would you happen to be in DedSec? Because I have some information you'll find useful.
Go on.
I, along with 300 of my colleagues, were all made redundant a few weeks ago.
That's terrible.
Thankfully, I managed to land on my feet, but something about the layoff stinks to high heaven. What company has the resources to replace 300 skilled workers like that? It's preposterous.
Yeah, you're right. So now you want DedSec to do some digging for you?
Exactly. I never forget a favor. Help me and I'll help you however I can. Can I help you?
A tech corporation acting unethically?
Fascism often works with corporations, and it's doing the same now. That's the way in which they track what you do. That's the way in which they track who you talk to. They operate as each other's proxies.
Charles is an expert in the dark arts of surveillance who worked to set up democratic order in post-communist states. How did it go so wrong in Britain?
You know, we're looking at all the wrong things when we look at Britain's crisis. There's a lot of concentration on data and how that's been used and manipulated. And what we haven't looked at is the power structures and the profit that lies behind this. For example, if we examine what actually happened, there's a company that's really very interested in selling passports to provide visas for investment and so on. And historically, throughout the world, we've been working with this big data manipulation company in order to overthrow governments. And then suddenly, all the chickens came home to roost. Nobody could find the receipts for what was paid for. Nobody could figure out how things were done, but everybody had a feeling that something really stunk, and they couldn't figure it out. And yet, it was standing there in their face the whole time. So there's a couple of different ways that we got where it is that we are. And one, you have a lot of smaller organizations, smaller power groups, companies as well, who are bending things just a little, we'll compromise a little bit, we'll bend the rules a little bit, and try to achieve what it is that we hope to achieve that's good for us. And if you add all of that up, what you end up with is a big wall moving in a big way from a lot of little buttons being pushed. But also there's this other thing that's going on here is the gathering of data and the analysis of data has...
You've arrived at our contact's former employer, and aside from some heavily armed security guards, it's basically a ghost town.
Huh. Interesting. How do you feel about changing the state of things?
Shit, are you saying you're DedSec? I could really use your help.
I mean, can't guarantee anything, but we'll try. What's up?
So I've got this friend. We used to do protests and shit together, right? Fuck the man and so on. Anyway, last time, Albion breaks it up in classic Albion fashion, and while I'm seeing double, they throw my mate into an ambulance and just piss off. We were told they died. Thing is, no one's been allowed to see the body. Not friends, not even family.
That's terrible.
Look, I just want to know what happened. Not knowing, it sucks. Just help me get some closure and I'll do whatever you want.
Oof, that's not good, is it? We'll look into it.
Whoa.
This won't...
Shit for brains! Get him on the ground! It was shotgun.
You could do your corporate espionage from there.
Send me all extra units.
Playtime's over. I've got them!
All units, proceed to alarm location. Acknowledge, over.
Sending you the data.
Copy that. I'll analyse the company records while you get to safety.
Position.
Is this: do we actually need medicine? If you today got diagnosed with a potentially fatal...
Bagley, what have we got?
Well, I found our prospect's replacement. It's an AI. And a pretty shoddy one at that. Nowhere near as smart as me. It could maybe replace...
I just don't think we should... Think of it in such a negative way. Don't think of it as a medicine diet, Annie. Think of it as a series of healthy lifestyle swaps. Swap out anti-inflammatories for antacids. Swap out the iron lung for the aluminium lung. Swap out MRI machines for Mary machines, which is just a lady called Mary telling you you're fine.
Obviously, critical shortages are as much part of our daily lives, our society and our culture today as things like football, music and complaining about the weather used to be in the old days, and food shortages, yeah, we just learn to live with them, don't we? And there's a lot of positives as well with all these food shortages. I mean, we were eating too much anyway. As a nation, the government's just helping us live healthier lifestyles. It's so hard to diet on your own, isn't it? You need the support of a friend, or a loved one, or a government, or collapsing social infrastructure. Positive 2, meat, very bad for the environment. So we're actually rebuilding the polar ice caps every time we eat a scrap of lettuce. 3, positive 3, the human race had already cooked all the recipes we needed. There was nothing more to be done with food. We've done that, we can tick it off. I was bored of food anyway, I've been eating it all my life. If you've been doing the same thing 3 times a day, 4, sometimes 7, or even 8 times a day, you're bound to get bored of it. And also, final positive, no more meal times. Frees up all that extra time for appreciating all the selfless hard work that Albion do to keep us all safe.
Well, as you say, Andy, people are drawn to novelty. Everyone's had breakfast once. Why you gotta keep having it again and again?
Boring, repetitive. There's enough of that in life. You're listening to The Bar. Well, another story that has come to the fore recently is that all European imports have been banned for public health reasons, which is great news. I mean, at least we can get ill eating good, home-produced, locally sourced, British, industrially unsafe food. That's something we can all cling to. Public health reasons, those are curious words. Alice, I don't know, is that in case the public gets too healthy eating all that mushroom? It's British food for British tummies. Spelt, nettles, rabbit.
The job-killing AI's code blueprint has been packed up into a crate on site.
Time for a bit of destruction.
Find the little shit who thinks they can hack our vehicles.
Suspects reported in your area, potentially armed and hostile.
Responding to the call.
That's all from the bug today. Good night, sleep tight, and make sure the bed bugs do bite.
Control, we're heading back. Over.
What's that doing there?
Do you recognise him?
What are they doing?
If you have questions about someone's behaviour,
There it is. Time to do your destroying other people's property thing. AI successfully murdered. Now get to safety and I'll send our friend the good news.
Sending location on a 1033. Advised conditions.
Get me some extra hands here.
Ready for some weird shit? The replacement you were so angry about is actually an AI. Automation isn't just putting taxi drivers and accountants out of work.
Received. We are trailing the target. Where did they go? Shit. Target has cleared checkpoint on.
Target in sight. Engaging.
Control, we are pursuing the suspect. Suspect just breached the checkpoint. Ready to ram the vehicle. Over.
Auto drive now enabled.
Control, there's been an accident. Over. We are in pursuit. I say again, in pursuit.
I had them. Where did they go?
Hello, this is Bug. Are you all sitting comfortably? No? Good. That's as it should be. This is The Bug. I'm Andy, and joining me to analyse the latest blowflies to emerge from the corpse of a once free Britain, it's Alice.
Hello, Andy.
And today, we're going to talk to you
Pass through
about
the checkpoint.
Albion.
Over.
Your friends of mine. Alice, the government has extended Albion's contract and have also boasted that violent crime has plummeted to a record low. Now, extending Albion's contract, to me, that's like having a pet dog. It's called a Nigel.
Be advised, we are on the trail.
Every single day. I'm thinking to yourself, wouldn't it be nice if Nigel had puppies?
That contract has been extended so many times, it's like the nick of a
Control! Target is now on foot. Responding to illegal possession of firearm, over.
And next one, we better get them signed up before it's too late. But still, violent crime, a record low, although I imagine that probably depends exactly how you count it. If you include violent crime committed by the state, either themselves or via Albion, their chosen violent crime contractors, who provide such a very valuable bargain service of beating people up, well, it's probably not quite as low as the figures
Control,
suggest.
put out
I
an
don't know.
APW.
I think they're
Target
probably right.
is gone.
Who has the opportunity to commit violent crime these days anyway? The moment you pick up a fruit knife, you get tasered by a robot policeman and deported for looking Bulgarian. It's a much more peaceful society. It's just much less of a... society.
I want to know the details of the contracts, Alice. I mean, are they paid per dissident duffed up? Is it a set rate for each extrajudicial state mugging? And what is that rate? What do you think?
Well, they certainly look like they're trying to hit a quota.
London, this is 404, first peer-to-peer hacktivist network. All are welcome. If you want to make a difference, join us. We're taking down the elite.
I found street view images of a CT.
I mean, who needs violent crime anymore anyway? You know, you can just starve to death without even starting a gang war.
We do have to ask exactly what does the Prime Minister make of all this. Let's ask him. Oh, I hope they pick up. Hello, you're through to number 10 Downing Street. Hello, is the Prime Minister there, please? Let me just check. Sorry, you've missed him. I'm afraid he's popped out for the decade. Oh, never mind. Is there anyone else I can talk to? Yes, of course. There's a shady cabal of vested interests in controlling and propping up in power. Great, I'll have a chat with them then.
Oh, and you remember you could get away with prank calls without people coming round to your house to beat the shit out of you?
Oh, happy times.
You're listening to The Bug.
Did you think the Prime Minister will ever come back?
I don't think we've ever had a Prime Minister.
Well, that's a much more reassuring way of looking at things. What have we become? Alice, when you look at the state of our politics, we're supposed to have the mother of parliaments. Well, this is one mother that has emphatically abandoned her kids in the woods to be brought up by wolves. And let me tell you, that never works out like it does in the stories. Wolves are bad parents. Unless you're a wolf, in which case they can do a job bringing you up as a wolf. Do not give your children to wolves. And do we actually own anything as a country now? Is there anything we haven't flogged off for profit? Oh, I think we've basically just become a homeopathic Britain. Diluted and diluted until there's barely a trace of the original Britain left. But some quackish lunatics insist it actually works better that way. It's total bullshit. Is there anything left? New on The Bug this week, a new feature, the Bug Off feature.
We have reports of a hostile in your area. Received.
This week,
Moving in hostile direction.
And to get things going, I'm going to nominate Big Nigel. Nigel Caslett, this is Britain. History tells us this place is a bastion of freedom. I'm just not sure that that kind of freedom should involve Big Nigel expressing his dreams to run a private army. I guess, historically, there is a precedent in the East India Company. That was a trading house with an army of 250,000 soldiers, which is a lot for a company. The Bug PLC has Alice with a water pistol. But crucially, compared with Albion, the East India Company didn't operate its 250,000-strong army in London. It did it a long way away, out of sight, out of mind. Anyone to nominate for the Bug Off?
Return to HQ.
I think today's Bug Off for me goes to my streaming service. I'm sick of being recommended things based on things I already like. The other day it recommended me to watch a reality TV competitive dating show set in a nude commune. Andy, I watched it and I liked it, and I do not want to be the kind of person who enjoys nude competitive reality television dating shows. I did not want to know that about myself. I have to go sit in a corner and cry.
That's it from the bug. Don't forget the live show that is so secret it is definitely not happening at the usual time and place this month. Definitely not. And definitely do not tell anyone not to come to it. It's definitely not happening. Usual time and place.
Located the CTOS hub.
If you were listening to this, it means you want to learn more about 404. Know what we know. Do what we do.